How much discomfort are you willing to take? It is definitely not easy to live here. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So before we continue with today's video, I want to thank our sponsor, which is LaBreeze. They have this new air styler. This is a brand new product and it is amazing. I just used it to do my hair today. This has so many different features in one because you can simply switch out the attachment and get so many different ways to do your hair all in one product. So today I used the round brush to start out with, and then I used the air curler to add just a little bit more texture after my hair was already dry. It's so easy to switch them out. You just press this button and unscrew it and they just twist right out. Here's the round brush I used. So to showcase, you just put it in as you're pressing the button and twist it right in, and then it stays. Because this comes with so many different attachments, you can create so many different looks, from a really sleek blowout look to a really voluminous curly look. I really like this because it's lightweight, and I like that it is so many different products in one, because when I tried to do my hair with a blow dryer and a round brush and then I have to go in with a curling wand or a straightener, you know, that's like a lot of different products, especially if you're traveling or if you don't have a lot of space to store all those in your bathroom. This is just a great way to save time and ultimately money, because you only have to purchase one product. Definitely doing my hair today took so much faster than it would have normally, because again, I didn't have to switch out all of these different products and tools. I could just, if anything, hop on a different attachment and I was good to go. So I would definitely recommend that you guys check out LaBreeze. I really like this product. I love how sleek it is and how efficient it is and how good it made my hair look. It's also just so easy to use, which is a huge plus. So I will put all the information to where you can purchase this down below, but this is a great way to level up this spring and summer, or also a great gift idea. So thank you so much to LaBreeze again for sponsoring today's video, and let's go ahead and get started with the rest of it. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I moved to New York City about a year ago this month from LA. I lived in LA for about 6 or 7 years, and I wanted to make this video to share with you guys what I've learned after a year living in New York, and hopefully this can help you out if you are moving to New York soon or you feel the urge to, because I know I was definitely watching a lot of videos like this when I was first thinking about moving. I just want to jump right in. So I would say the number one thing that's changed for me is that I'm a lot less self-conscious doing things alone, out in public, going places alone, and just kind of existing in public. So in LA, because it's such a car-centric place, I would feel so out of place walking places, doing things alone, going to things alone. If I was walking, I just felt like I stood out so much. I would get a lot of honks at me. Like, it was very uncomfortable. So because in New York, there's so many people just out and about, you know, in public, you're on public transport with so many other people, you kind of get over that self-consciousness. You don't even think about it, you know, because you're just so busy doing what you have to do in your day that just kind of disappears. So that's actually been really nice, and I feel like I've built a lot of self-confidence just doing things alone, like going out alone, going to dinner alone, lunch, and even just my errands where I'm like walking. Even though I lived alone and like did so much alone, it was just like I felt so self-conscious because I low-key did stand out. Like if I would be walking somewhere or even Ubering somewhere, it's like you're by yourself. Even driving somewhere, you're by yourself in your car going somewhere. In New York, you're with everybody else, like getting to where you have to go, unless you choose to drive or Uber or whatever. It's just a lot more normal to take the public transport, to walk, to just be with other people, and that's actually been a really nice change. So that's probably the first thing, is just you feel less self-conscious doing things alone, you're more likely to do things alone, and it's just easier. So the second thing that has also been huge, I kind of find myself asking myself, how much discomfort are you willing to take? Because it is definitely not easy to live here. From the weather to the cost of things, it's a challenge, and I really understand why they say if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Let's just start with the weather. The weather changes every hour. You will experience so many different things. Like even today, the day started out a little gray, then it started pouring. Then later it was sunny and kind of warm, and like I felt too hot when I was walking. Overly windy to the point where I'm annoyed because my hair is blowing. I was wearing a skirt. It was like going all over the place. I'm just like, oh my God. There's people walking in your way all the time. The trains are delayed. Something happens on the train. It's just like constant inconveniences and annoying things, and obviously that can escalate to like violence on the train, you know, whatever, but just like bottom line, there's a lot of inconveniences. And in LA, life was easy. Life was so easy to the point that it was boring. Sometimes boring is a blessing. Sometimes it means peace. You know, honestly, if you're thinking of moving to New York and you don't feel financially ready, you don't feel emotionally ready, I would not recommend doing it because it is so much else. So you really have to be in the right headspace, and I really can see why it's not for everyone because there's just so much that goes on. Again, from the weather to just the amount of craziness in the street, like it is a lot of people condensed together, which is so fun and exciting, but it's also like, that's not for everyone. Genuinely have to ask yourself, are you ready for this? And it's definitely a commitment. Like it's not like a light decision. Also, there's of course the stereotype of like people on the East Coast just being in so much more of a hurry, and like the West Coast is chill and laid back and like the surfer bro vibe, and then the East Coast is like people are assholes and like, oh my god, they're such in a rush. I knew that, but I did not truly feel that until living here. So honestly, I can say time does seem to go by so much faster here in New York than in LA or just on the West Coast in general. Time is everything. Like I feel like my time is so much more valuable here and so much more precious, and I have to be so much more on top of my schedule and like keeping myself on top of everything, which especially if you guys have been subscribed to me for a while or just kind of know me, you know I'm an organized girly. I wake up early, like I'm very on top of everything. So for me to say that is like a lot. Like it's a lot. Always feel like I'm in a rush. A friend will want to FaceTime. I'm like, okay, I have like 15 minutes in between this and that. I don't like, I didn't used to be like this. I used to have all the time in the world. Again, in LA, I felt very bored and like towards the end and just kind of like, okay, what am I doing? And now I'm like constantly on the move, like constantly like rushing to go do something. And it's like, I mean, it keeps you on top of everything. That's another thing. It's a lot more competitive here, especially as someone in the social media space. Like there's certain competitiveness, I think, you know, in the social media influencer content creator space, but then also just living here, you know, it's like you want that last seat on the train, you know, everyone wants that last seat on the train. If you hear about something, you need to go buy a ticket or go early or whatever because everyone's gonna want to do it. So it's kind of like, even though in so many ways it's so much more like community and like people together existing together, and like you're not, at least for myself, I don't feel as lonely and like isolated as I did in LA. It's still this very like individualistic, like you kind of have to put yourself so first because everybody's gonna like want something or want it, whatever it is, you know? It is a lot more demanding, and like that stereotype I found to be so true. And again, I didn't know that before, but to know something and then to actually feel it and live it it's like two different things. So another thing is the apartment searching process is insane over here. Living in LA, bro, finding an apartment was not stressful. Like obviously moving is annoying and like a hassle, but it was never like stressful. I never felt like it was this competitive thing, like I need to like da da da. And here it's like, bro, I've been to so many open houses and it's like it's gone the next day. Like you don't even get time to inquire, ask a question. Sometimes you don't even have time to submit your application because somebody else already took it. And it's just like stressful. You go to an open house, there will be a line out the door to have the showing. And I would say it's definitely a lot more expensive here as far as housing goes, because in LA, bro, it is like, obviously it's expensive, it's a big city, but you could get a nice place. Like for the amount I was paying in LA to live in a luxury boutique, you know, historical building in downtown LA, for that price here, you could get like a shitty small apartment, like not even a one. I lived in a proper one bedroom in LA. Here you could maybe find a shitty studio for that same price. And again, I lived in like a luxury boutique building. Housing is definitely more expensive, but with that, it's also like, because it's a lot more dense of a city and it's so much more walkable and public transport is so much easier, you could find food and a lot of other things for the low if you know how to do it. Obviously, there's so much luxury in New York, so many amazing, nice, high-end restaurants, obviously, but it's like the little marketplaces and just like, it's like the if you know, you knows. Like, I feel like just because they're more accessible, I save so much on food here, and I save a lot more on transportation here, obviously, because I don't have to Uber everywhere. I can take the train, I can walk. Sometimes, you know, if you have to Uber, you have to Uber, but most of the time I don't have to. So that is really nice. I would take the train in LA occasionally, but y'all, like, full disclosure, I just felt like there would never be other girly pops in my demographic, age range, looking cute on the train. And so I would face so much harassment. I would get so much anxiety. It was just a very unpleasant experience. Not that that doesn't happen here, but I feel like the ratio of just like an everyday civilian to like someone that's gonna crash out on you is like a little different. It's like more balanced, and just there's so many more just civilians taking the train. I really remember that even just from visiting New York when I was living in LA. Like, wow, like it's so nice to be in a place where people walk, people take the train, you know. It's not like this thing. I mean, obviously it is for some people. Again, there is a lot of wealth in New York as well, but overall it's like, it's not like it's just, it's normalized. So I really understand, you know, again, the saying, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, because it's so stressful, bro. It's like a lot. And shout out everyone, you know, especially people that have come here from another country. Like, people really make it happen, and it's just very inspiring to see. And it is really, really amazing to be in a place where, again, you're with so many different people, so many different cultures, so many different backgrounds, and it's very inspiring in a lot of ways, because it's just like, wow, like you just feel that humanity, and I feel like there is a greater sense of community. So yeah, I would say if you were thinking of moving to New York just on a whim, like, on one hand, follow your intuition, because things could be rough and hard at first, and then it pushes you to do better and be better. At the same time, you don't want to put yourself in a bad situation, or a situation where you could face just like severe financial loss or instability in that sense, because it is very difficult. Like, just the competitiveness, the amount of people in your same situation, you know, if you're not ready for that, I would honestly hold off a little, stay wherever you are, save up some money, and then come when you can have a little bit more comfort. There is a lot of opportunity out here. There's a lot of jobs. There's a lot of like ways that you can make money, but it's just gonna be very stressful if you're not ready, and if you're not in that mindset of like, yes, I'm gonna make it work. So especially if you're in the like artsy creative scene, like, again, great place to come for that, but it's like, are you willing to put in that work? Like, if you don't have this financial comfort to like fall back on, and even just to like get started, you know? So I am definitely very grateful for this experience, no regrets, and I am excited for my second year. You know, let's see what happens, and knock on wood. But I always feel like the first year living in a place isn't going to represent your entire time living there. Like, my first year in LA was insane. Also, I was like freshly 18. Like, it was a time was had, you know, like starting from the bottom. Now we're here. But yeah, I'm excited to keep moving forward. I feel like this city is definitely very energizing and inspiring, and I do feel a lot more inspired here, and just creatively it does give you that boost, you know. It's like there's just so much happening all the time. Y'all hear the sirens outside right now? Like so let me know if you guys have any questions. I want to probably make another video about this if you guys want, you know, going into more detail about anything. But let me know if you have ever lived in New York, or if you do right now, let me know if you agree with anything I said or disagree, or what your thoughts are. And cheers, y'all. Like, cheers to life. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys next time.